Hello, I am Samira. My full name is Samira Tasnim. Currently, I am working as a postdoc with Professor Gary Zank at the University of Alabama in Huntsville. I am originally from Bangladesh. My hometown is the most densely populated city in the world, which is Dhaka, the capital of Bangladesh. Today, I would love to share my story with you. Uh, to tell my story, I will first introduce you my family. I am the first child of my parents. My dad was a civil engineer. He passed away in 2017. My biological mother was a school teacher who is currently retired. I was raised by my aunt, whom I also address as mom. She was a botanist and a government service holder. She is also in her retirement at the moment. I have three younger sisters. My immediate younger sister is a computer engineer. The next sister is an architect, and my baby sister recently finished her bachelor's degree in marketing. And the newest member of my family is my husband. He is a geoinformatic engineer and he is working in German Aerospace Agency or DLR. In a big picture, my life has three important chapters. First, my life in Bangladesh, where I born, grew up, and completed my education till masters. Second part of my life, it was in Sydney, Australia, where I got my PhD degree. And the third part is my current life, where here in States, in Huntsville, Alabama. So, first I will tell you the story of why I decided to do space physics. Since all my parents were from science background, I grew up with an interest in science and technology. During my high school, at that point, I started feeling that I'm strongly attracted to physics and mathematics. And this attraction motivated me to decide to study physics for higher education. But however, after my higher secondary exam, a little cold environment created between me and my parents. They wanted me to study either engineering or medicine, whereas I was interested to study physics. I want to tell you here that engineering and medical studies are highly demanding in Bangladesh. However, this issue between my parents and me solved quite easily when I got chance in the admission test of physics, but not in the engineering. However, medicine was never my cup of tea, so I did not try for that. So in that stage, my journey of studying physics started at Jahangirnagar University in Bangladesh, which is located in Dhaka. I completed my bachelor and master's degrees from there. During my undergrad, I started discovering that I'm more interested in plasma physics, astrophysics, and cosmology. I want to tell you here that, as like many other kids of my time, I grew up with curiosity of space, rocket science, astronomy by watching Star Wars and Star Trek. I think the curiosity was just boosted up by attending astrophysics and cosmology lectures. Even though I did not have any idea at that point that I will be pursuing my career as a researcher in space physics. Mainly, my research interest started growing into me when I attended plasma physics lectures by Professor Mamun and Professor Salauddin at Jahangirnagar University. I really enjoyed those subjects, that subjects, and then those lectures, and wanted to continue research on those fields. This led me to work under Professor Mamun for my master's thesis in the field of dusty plasma. Here I want to share you a short story. One day Professor Mamun asked me and my other friend, who was also working under him, that what's our plan for future. I replied that I want to be a lecturer at a college, whereas my friend replied that she wanted to be a government officer. Professor Mamun said, okay, very good plan, but you can do this after finishing your PhD. Have you ever thought applying for higher studies in abroad? There are many good scholarships for PhD program. You do have good results as well as good publications. So why you are not trying for that? We too became very happy and excited and gave him immediately an answer. Yes, it was in our mind. If we could get a PhD scholarship, so we could continue our research. However, we were not sure that we are capable of do so. Professor Mamunti told us that I think you two are very much capable of doing a PhD. On that day, I realized it is very important to believe in ourselves and always to think positive. My guess, it was one of the big lessons of my life. Then the quest for a good scholarship at a renowned university started, which was not very easy journey for me. By that time, I was working as a lecturer at Bangladesh University of Engineering and Technology. So after work, contacting with various research groups, not always getting reply, rejection, etc., had become my everyday story. Sometimes I even started to having thoughts of quitting this. One day my dad noticed that I'm little bit low. He asked me, "What happened to you? Where is the smile on my daughter's face?" I told him that this is my situation, and he said, "Okay, I can understand your struggle." And he also explained me that not everybody gets everything easily. When you achieve something by hard work, it will be more precious to you. It was another lesson of my life that not to give up with my dreams. It is very easy to give up, but our hard work, carrying with our passion and patience will give us the sweetest result of success. Now I will go to the next chapter, my story in Sydney, Australia. I started my PhD study in space physics at the University of Sydney. So that Sydney was the first city where I lived outside Bangladesh and also first overseas travel. And the very first challenge I faced was I was not very familiar with Aussie accent as like I was familiar with American or British accent. Sometimes I couldn't follow lectures or talks. One day I shared this situation with one of my Australian friend and he said, "I'm sorry to hear that." And he also told me, "Please do not force yourself too much and give yourself some time." He also explained me some of their speaking styles and pronunciation. Eventually, I started understanding it very clearly, and within 2 or 3 months, it was quite comfortable. Now I feel very attached to the Aussie accent. I'm very grateful to my colleagues, my friends, especially my PhD supervisor, Professor Iver for their care, their cooperation during my stay in Sydney. Actually, I didn't feel always that I'm living far away from my country because of their warm welcome. Another important point I want to note particularly for international students, is that it is important that mutual acceptance. Since you have to spend a big time of your life where you are studying, you need to be open minded, understand them, to be respectful to the culture. In return, you will discover that you will be treated in the same fashion. I would love to say that think in a way that you are in a foreign country, distance from your home, which provides you a great opportunity to get to know a new culture and together new experiences. Sometimes we are very scared, have hesitation to approach to the local student, and that is quite like very understandable. But you may think that how they are taking you, but based on my personal experience I can say that they will be very happy to know you. If not, then you have to consider you just got to know a very wrong person. So now I will go to the next part of my life. When I moved to Huntsville here in USA, Huntsville is a very nice and quiet city in Alabama, and my colleagues are very welcoming. However, in the first half of 2019, I had a very, very bad depression. It was due to some reasons. My depression actually started when I lost my dad, who was also my best friend. It was under control back in Sydney, as I was surrounded by my friends and many other people whom I knew for a long time. But all of a sudden, relocation to a new place, new environment, on top of that, going through a bad relationship, all these combined together made me very vulnerable and very deeply frustrated. At that period of time, I couldn't sleep at night properly. I was under stress that probably I'm not fulfilling my job requirements, and so on and so on. Due to lack of sleep, poor diet, day by day, I became very anemic and it led me to hospitalized for a day. The next morning, after I returned back from the hospital, I decided to do whatever action I need to take control of my life. I shared that to my advisor, Professor Gary Zeng, and one of my colleagues, Ms. Veronica Wilser. They were very understanding and cooperative to me. They gave me proper time from work to recover. It was really important. I think when you are facing some problem, it is really important to let other people know, especially the people you are working with. Then I started going for swimming, going for running, having proper diet, take professional help, gather courage to get out of the broken relationship. Most importantly, to take proper care of me. This journey was not too easy either. But again, I didn't give up. I kept trying to improve me. I'm still trying to improve me as well as my research skill. Thank you very much for listening from my story. I would love to tell a sentence in my mother tongue. ধন্যবাদ আমার সাথে থাকার জন্য।